Tonight, record rainfall. Drainage systems couldn't keep up. A man had to be rescued from his car, and the Black River expected to hit flood stage. Also, the flooding canceled classes at Watertown schools, had hardware stores running out of sump pumps, and it cut off this community from the rest of St. Lawrence County. And in other news, an apology from St. Lawrence County District Attorney candidate James Monroe, and this man arrested on an arson charge in connection with the Boardwalk Resort fire in Alex Bay.
You're watching the North Country's news station. 7 News this evening starts now. Live from downtown Watertown, here's Jeff Cole.
And good evening. A lot to cover tonight, beginning with the strong winds and record rainfall that pummeled the North Country, and there's more rain to come. That in a moment. More than 5 inches of rain fell in Watertown between last night and today, so much that storm drainage systems couldn't keep the water underground. Instead, it was bubbling out of manhole covers and racing down Washington Street this morning. A quieter scene, but not a better situation in southern Jefferson County. Fields turned into lakes, several inches of rain in a quick amount of time here. And in northern Jefferson County in the town of Pamelia, pools surrounded by pools of water. A man had to be rescued after his car didn't make it through the water that flooded County Route 84 in the town of Adams. He was stranded for an hour. Firefighters put a life belt around the elderly driver as they helped him walk through the fast-moving water.
You keep hearing, turn around, don't drown, and they mean it. The road's closed, the signs are there. People think the sign is for other people. They think, well, I can make it through.
The car will stay put until a tow truck can fish it out. Roads and basements flooded in St. Lawrence County today. Irish Settlement Road in the town of Canton had water running across it. Highway crews closed that road near Route 68. Kelly Road near Old State Road outside of Rensselaer Falls was flooded as well. Fire crews were busy pumping out basements like here on Canton Street in Rensselaer Falls. And all the rain in Jefferson and Lewis counties will make levels on the Black River rise quickly. Overnight in Watertown, the Black River rose 4 feet. It will continue to rise and is expected to crest Wednesday afternoon at flood stage, which is 10 feet. Much more on the coverage of the damage from today's flooding in a moment. But first, we need to understand that there's more rain coming. Michelle McLeod is in the Weather Center. And Michelle, this is lake effect rain, right?
Exactly. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but busy night tonight. Let's get straight to it. We have an aerial flood warning for Jefferson County until tonight at 9 p.m. We also have not listed a lakeshore flood warning for Jefferson County until Tuesday at 8 p.m. We have a flash flood watch until Wednesday at 8 a.m. for Lewis counties. Right now we are looking at area-wide rain. It's not heavy, but it's not like we need any more rain. And then overnight, more rain and more wind. Those winds start to die down just a little overnight and into tomorrow. But check this out. Lake effect rain and even some snow for some of us. Stay tuned. We'll talk more about that and time it out. Jeff?
All right, Michelle, thank you. It could be a lot of rain, so we'll listen to her in a couple of moments. All the rain today meant no school for kids in Watertown City schools today. 7 News reporter Aaron Bischoff live outside Case Middle School to explain that. Aaron.
Jeff, the basement flooded here at Case Middle School, and due to safety concerns, officials decided to close school today. Water is gushing out of Case Middle School as crews try to keep the floods out. The basement of the school, which includes a gym, locker room, storage, and a mechanical room, had a foot of standing water Monday morning.
It's not going down, it's still coming in. So we're just trying to keep the water out or at the level it's at to avoid damaging any of our mechanical equipment in the basement.
School officials say the sewage system was overwhelmed by rainwater and was backing up into the building, running near electrical areas and closing all of the restrooms.
At that point, you have to make a decision, and safety first. We had to close schools today.
Case wasn't the only school with water problems. The large group instruction room in Watertown High School also was flooded with 2 to 3 feet of water. And school officials say the parking lot under the bridge between the high school and the middle school was also flooded earlier in the morning. All of this keeping the staff very busy.
We're finding as many pumps as we can and running hoses as far away from the building and pumping until hopefully it stops.
The other 6 schools in the district only had minor problems from the rain, and as for school tomorrow, officials haven't made the call whether it'll be open or not yet. Jeff?
Aaron Bischoff, thank you. A run on sump pumps at local hardware stores. Watertown stores like White's Lumber and Stratton's Hardware, they're out. Here at Noble Ace Hardware on State Street, they sold out over the weekend. They got 20 more pumps in this morning, but they didn't last long.
Started selling them once they come off the truck at 10 after 7, and they're gone by 10:30.
So people who did without the pump called for help. 7 News reporter Alex Valverde live tonight with more on how people are dealing with all of the rain. Alex.
Jeff, those with a sump pump have been keeping an eye on their properties as water is flushed out, and the fire department has been there for those who needed a little extra help.
You can't control what Mother Nature does, but this is just crazy, all the amount of water we're getting down here.
It looks like Alexandria Avenue leads straight into a pond, but that's just the flooded road caused by recent rain, and it's seeping into nearby homes. Robert Hoover has been building a house here and says even with a sump pump, it's been difficult keeping up with water in the basement.
It's a never-ending battle. You're pumping it out, but everything's flooded, so while you're pumping, it's coming back in. We're just trying to keep it below the electrical and the furnace and the hot water tanks.
As the crew handles their battle, other homes across the city have needed to call in backup. The city fire department says it's gotten more than 100 calls since the morning and has been sending firefighters out to help flush out water from basements. Denisha Joels is the property manager for a duplex on Morrison Street, and while she does own a sump pump, it wasn't working.
Thought it was kind of weird that I hadn't heard it running, and so we walked down and we've got about 3 to 3.5 feet of water in the basement right now. I'm just glad that the fire department got here as quickly as they did.
The fire department is asking anyone with a flooded basement to first manage it themselves, and if not, if they can't, then call 911. Jeff?
All right, Alex, thank you. Overnight, a small community found itself cut off from the rest of St. Lawrence County. 7 News reporter Garrett Domblewski with more on what happened there. Garrett.
Yeah, Jeff, for the last year and a half or so, there's only been one road into the hamlet of Emeryville near Gouverneur. Last night, the rain shut that road down. When Michelle Fuller woke up Monday morning, 1.5 feet of water covered the only road that leads to her home.
This is the only way that we can get in or out.
And in or out meant risking the drive through this drowned stretch of Emeryville Road in the town of Fowler, effectively shutting off the 8 or so families who live beyond that part of the road.
I've lived here for 27 years. We've never had an issue with it being that high above the road. We've never had to close or not be able to get the school buses up through here.
With the only way in blocked off, Fuller is concerned what that might mean in an emergency.
I mean, anything could happen at any moment. Unfortunately, it hasn't, but if it did, that would be very bad.
Until around 1.5 years ago, there was a second way to and from the area, but a bridge that used to span the Oswegatchie River was shut down by the county. For years, the town of Fowler and St. Lawrence County had been in a dispute over who owned the bridge. A court ruled the county did and had to take care of it. Fowler's town supervisor Mike Capinelli says the county has told him there are a number of other bridges with problems, and the bridge on Emeryville Road is not as high a priority. After more than a year, that's frustrating residents like Fuller.
Oh yeah, very, very, very frustrating.
Fowler's highway department has been keeping an eye on the flooded road. Around 2 o'clock, workers said it had gone down to about 3 inches of water on the road. The concern now, Jeff, is whether it will have washed out part of that road and what happens if it happens again.
All right, Garrett, thank you.